folks, Garrett here, back with another review, my part of another chain review. Thank you, Rob, by the way, for the intro. So my little part of this Seekers project is going to be Sunstorm. Not just animated Sunstorm, as you can tell from the intro, but this is the only Sunstorm figure I actually own. When I got this assignment, I was apprehensive because I know nothing about this character at all. In fact, up until a few years ago, I didn't even realize that, oh, hey, he's in the background in that episode. So, yeah, I had to do quite a bit of research. But doing this research, I think I'm fascinated with him because he's one of the only figures or only characters I can think of that is official, but it's purely fan-driven. It's interesting to me how a possibly miscolored extra little Seeker model in the background of the first episode of Transformers generated enough interest and curiosity to eventually bring about this character. Background-wise, G1 Sunstorm sees himself as kind of the embodiment of the will and wrath of Primus. He's kind of Primus's hammer. He exacts very vengeful judgment upon those that would blaspheme their creator. He exudes a massive amount of radiation, enough to melt Cybertronic alloys, short out circuitry, and just generally fry the mind of any little Transformer that gets close to him. His judgment that he passes, it's what I found is very painful and quick and painful. It's supposed to be slow and painful, but it's quick and painful. And what I thought was really cool, it reminds me of Pulp Fiction here, he often recites holy writ, holy scripts while doing this. I guess holy Primus, religious scripts. So I liked that background. That was a really neat background. When we get to Dreamwave changes his background up a bit. He is a clone of Starscream, but he's an experiment by Shockwave, who is trying to has developed this new solar reactor system that he's trying to put into a Transformer for a power source. And Sunstorm ends up being the one successful trial. He is able to absorb this energy, but he gives off this radiation. His mind is kind of left blank, so Shockwave can program him. Eventually, Sunstorm leaves Cybertron and heads to Earth and seeks out Starscream to try to get Starscream to join him in his wacky quest. Starscream says no, and I believe Jetfire eventually gets Sunstorm off of Earth out into space. Sunstorm goes into a nuclear meltdown and basically destroys himself and Jetfire at the same time. Jetfire? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Jetfire. So, interesting backgrounds. Now, when we get to this guy, yeah, background sucks. He's a clone of Starscream who kisses everybody's butt because that's the part of Starscream's personality that's in him at this point. I mean, it's a kid's show, so I can see where they would kind of throw out all that mean, vicious, vengeful, holy warrior background to make something a little bit more kid-friendly. But at the same time, it just makes this character, personality-wise, background-wise, pretty boring. Now, figure-wise, very, very cool on the figures, too. First off, there's been numerous repaints. Generally, I think most of them being exclusives of some kind. But when you type in pictures of Sunstorm, it's the one figure that I think I have seen fan custom repaints more than any other character. So he's got a big fan base. I mean, when I typed it in, the number of classic Seeker molds that I saw people had repainted into him was pretty phenomenal. It was pretty cool. Just kind of a rundown, a history sort of the various characters, and I'm going to insert some of those pictures you saw at the beginning, and you'll actually see at the end of the video too. The first one on the list would be the eHobby G1 mold repaint into Sunstorm, pictured here. The next one that I found was a repaint of the Heroes of Cybertron PVC figure of Starscream into Sunstorm. That apparently was an exclusive for a convention in Chicago. I think it was OTFCC is what it was named. That's what I wrote down here. And I don't remember what OTFCC stood for. So, and that was in 2003. Could not find pictures of that figure anywhere. For some reason I couldn't even find a picture of the Starscream one, because I thought, well, I could put the Starscream one up so you can at least see what the mold looks like. But it's kind of like along the lines of the Robot Heroes, those little figures. Then there was the Titanium War Within repaint, pictured here. And then there was the Universe. It was a Universe. He was a Universe Minicon of Unicron. But I believe it was a redeco of Armada Thrust, if my information is correct. It was a Walmart exclusive, and it's this one. Cybertron redeco. I've got the list right here. The redeco of the Energon Saber member wreckage from. Anyways, it was a Cybertron redeco of the character wreckage from the Energon Saber, pictured here. Sorry, tongue was getting tied. And then the last one before animated that I found was the Legends class repaint for Cybertron of Starscream, and that's here. And then we get to this guy. Now, as far as this mold, I really do like the animated Seeker mold. I really have become a big Seeker whore over the last few years, and I really like this mold. Now, one disclaimer, I am not going to transform this guy. We've seen the jet mode on these many times, but the reason I'm not going to transform him is because of most of the Seekers from animated line that we've had. This guy's got a lot of quality control issues. Now, the first few times I transformed him after getting him, I didn't have any problems. But in the last few days, just kind of transforming him back and forth just to kind of refresh my memory, pieces started falling off this guy. So he's pretty much staying, and it was mostly arms. For some reason, I'd get him transformed, and then I'd hear something rattling, and his head was coming off. The nose cone, once I was getting it transformed, was coming out like twice as far, almost completely off. So there's some big quality control issues with this particular figure. I know Seaspray got a couple of them, and one of them he got right out of the box, just touched it, and pieces started falling off. So, and that's unfortunate about this. So yeah, I'm not going to transform him for you on camera. But what I will say about this figure, I do like the orange, yellow-orange colors. But I kind of wish that the reds were a little bit more red. And I definitely wish that they had gone with more of a bright white, as opposed to this bone white color here. But still, a cool little figure. You know, and hey, it's a Sunstorm. It's the only one I got, so I'm happy. Alright, so hopefully this has been somewhat informative. I know it's quick, but I really liked the information that I learned about this guy. And just, I'm hoping, I know there's a lot of us hoping, and probably, we're keeping our fingers crossed, probably Hasbro will finally get around and repaint the Seeker, the classic Seeker mold into Sunstorm, maybe when Universe comes back around. So I mean, it's not official, but it's a lot of wishful thinking on our part, and I think we could make it happen. So thank you guys for watching. Now we're gonna go to Wes, who has an itty bitty teeny tiny thrust to show you all. So again, thanks for watching. Take it away, Wes.